We are in the Windy City for USA Club Rugby's Club National Championships 2026. Division II semifinals start now. Atlanta Old White defending champion versus Kansas City RFC in men's D2. I'm John Broker. I'm going to be joined by Mike Petrie for this one. We're going to talk you through some of these teams first. It's an exciting matchup here. Old White obviously laid down a marker last year, and their forwards are Aguda, Fontana, and Wilson in the front row. Isamoto, Rengifo, Osorio in the second row. Katambwa and Heaton in the back row, and Ross Deacon at number 8. Escobedo at scrum half. O'Hanlon at the fly position. Karoy and Mjashia Mase in the centers. Duyan and Bagby. Gadsden is out back for Kansas City. It's Mays, Landon, Dilly, Gaston, and Reynolds. Callahan and Faulkner the flankers, and Johnston at the number 8. In the backs, we are going to bring you at the number 9, Jacob Field, with Jones joining him in that partnership. Clausen and Reuter in the centers. Palmer and Palmer on the wings, and fullback is Warner. Before we get started, we're going to go down to Great American Rugby's Lance Kavanaugh.
2 years, I'm down on the field with Tim Massey. This Atlanta team has been a juggernaut in the South, proven last year. How do the fellas feel heading into this semifinal and maybe into the future Sunday's championship?
We are ready. It's been a long journey, but here we are. We're here to prove it again.
You have a team that's reloaded and restocked from the last year's side. The improvements are abundant on the score lines you guys had. Tell me about the new crew that stepped in and how they meshed with the old times that made things happen last year.
Everything, every time, everybody we get, like, they just up our game. Like, we all on the same level, whether new, whether old. They just we train so hard, we've worked for it, and we're here to prove it again.
Tim, good luck today. Handle business.
Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, we have now got Atlanta Old White on the field with a chance to get the double. We'll kick it back up top to you all.
Thank you, Lance. We're ready to get this one underway. Wise words there were good for kickoff. Ben Cohen will be taking the center ref role for this one. Kicking off will be in the red, white, and blue. Johan Britz and Kristen Russell, the assistant referees. And in the solid white there is Old White. Old White takes the first ball inside their 22.
Out.
Kansas City.
Drop back.
On defense. Big double tackle. You can expect that. Their coaches talk about some of the power they bring. High hanging kick. Contestable. Taken down by Kansas City.
Go.
Into the middle of the field they come, looking for a pod of runners. Try to draw some people in. There's room out to that right-hand side, but they're going to try to draw in some more defenders as they go. Field looking for that ball, and they get an early penalty.
Too white. Yes, too white to the
All
way.
scrum halves do. Looks to go, but stops. Mike Petrie, what a matchup we have.
What a matchup is right. We've been saying this all weekend. This is what it's all about. But how about this? An opportunity for kicking for points early in this game. Pretty good body position from Atlanta in that first breakdown, but our referee not happy with it. Asked for them to release the ball, and so Kansas City with a chance to strike first here.
Yeah, it certainly is. Be a nice one for Oliver Jones here. Coach is talking about what a homegrown team they are as rugby's developed in the Kansas City area. It's been something they've really enjoyed, is bringing some of these players up through high school ranks and college ranks, bringing them into their program. 3 or 4 brothers playing on the team. Nice strike there from Oliver Jones, and 3-0 Kansas City, Mike.
And ultimately, that's what Club Rugby in America is all about. You just mentioned it, developing from the grassroots, building a community around your club. And if that's what Kansas City is doing, they're doing a fantastic job putting their team in a national championship semifinal, getting ready to play for all the marbles tomorrow. There's probably so many friends and family members back home in the Kansas City area in their club that are watching this game and cheering for them throughout this afternoon. And that's a good start for their fan base.
Now inside their own 22, gigantic hits coming in. Matt Heaton puts that one in for Old White.
Red, retreat.
Kick taken inside their own half. On the run here comes Mateo Gadsden. Escobedo wearing number 20 at the scrum half position there. Gets it out to Isamoto in the number 4. Quickly, Escobedo comes out to that side. Having to defend it quickly wide early is Kansas City. They come off the line that time. With a little tip pass gets by that charging runner. Was that smart enough? It was not.
Be red, off feet.
Penalty there, Mike, just a little overeager.
Yeah, you get a good look here, JB, at some of the names in this Atlanta Old White lineup, and you had a look there at number 7, Matt Heaton, and then playing alongside him, number 8, Ross Deacon. So a couple of MLR caps in this side. Matt Heaton played for a very long time down at Rugby ATL. Believe he spent some time on the West Coast as well with, I believe, RFC Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken. And Ross Deacon played for Rugby New York as well as, or Rugby United New York, I should say, as well as Rugby ATL. So some real powers in this Atlanta side. But it's not helping them at that line out, John. That throw did not go the way they wanted. And so Kansas City earns themselves a scrum.
Little miscue there. So yeah, Kansas City scrum. You see the size of some of these boys. Throwing them big in Missouri. Ball's going to be theirs. Jacob Field.
Crouch! Fine!
Next scrum here, boys. Here we go.
Set! Use it.
Ball is away. Going to go to that boot quickly. Launching it downfield, finding some green grass there, getting into the touch. Safety there, so another line out here for Old White. We'll see if they can convert this one better, Mike.
That's a great clearance kick that time from Kansas City as well. If you're a kicker, your general aim is around midfield. A 40-meter kick, 40-meter mark, I should say, is not too bad of an outcome. 50-meter is great. Anything outside of that is a bonus. And so if you're able to push the opposition team into their own end, that's a huge win.
Okay.
And so as you can see here, that's exactly what Kansas City has done. Put in between the 50 and the 40. So a great clearance kick from Kansas City that time.
Ball in the middle field for Kansas City. A little tip pass comes up there. Steve Karoy in the centers. Karoy, another pretty well-known player. Trying to rip away his Kansas City. Ball's coming back. Escobedo. Runner in behind. The speed comes on. Can't quite get through there. Duyan looking for the space. Escobedo has some runners. They've got a well-structured offense here. Do Atlanta Old White. You can see multiple formations out there in the middle of the field and people lining up. They try to come through the middle of the field. Kansas City dealing with that. Deacon comes inside. Does the space open up now? It gets put in behind there. And Wanjia Masse. Pass to no one in particular, but Old White's going to hang on to this one.
Back, guys. Back.
Heaton takes that one in. Escobedo. Little tip. Still alive. Escobedo coming back to this right-hand side. Out there. Once again, Wanjia Masse takes it into contact. Escobedo. Little show there. A couple of steps from Katambwa.
Not held. Back.
Bringing some runners on, putting the ball out the back. Is there room? There's a one-on-one. Couple of slips there, but game on defense are this Kansas City rugby team. Ball up to Gouda. He puts in the tip pass. Doing a great job of just keeping this defense off balance with these tip passes is Atlanta Old White. That one goes out wider. The hands of Bagby. Gouda. Headed towards the line. They've been making some ground with every phase here, have Old White. Very positive for them as the ball comes across, held there. Looking for Heaton, but can't find him, so hanging on to it is O'Hanlon. Now they come a little wider. That's going to be the run. A little pass outside. First try. Going to come to Matthew Fontana. Touches down for 5 after a great bit of play. First try of the game. So it's 5-3, kick to come.
And what I love about that sequence from Atlanta is just the patience, the persistence, and as you mentioned, they just chipped away at that Kansas City defense. Kansas City was in a bit of bend, don't break sort of philosophy here, and then look at this, just a little 2-on-1. I should have even been 3-on-1 on that outside. But that's a testament to Atlanta Old White just going forward, keeping it simple, being very direct, and recycling phases so quickly. The speed of breakdown is something that Kansas City has to address. They cannot let Atlanta continue to get quick ball, because you can see from that they can do some pretty special things with ball in hand when they move it quick. So Kansas City in a bit of a hole now, and a kick to follow.
Has the accuracy, it has the distance, it's 7 points. We've taken a look at the try.
And there it is, just a very simple execution. Great work there, pin and pass in the outside corner, and the finish. And again, nothing real flashy about the Atlanta attack. It was very simple, very direct. They found corners, found seams. They got in behind Kansas City's defense. Kansas City scrambled well, but they could not slow the breakdown. And so as a result, Atlanta ends up punching in our first try of the game.
Let's get going.
Other semifinal taking place today is Lemont Shore versus North Bay.
Good.
The winner of this will take on the winner of that matchup tomorrow.
Going right or left?
Kansas City to get us underway again. Taken down by Duyan.
Knocking on the ground.
Spilled in the action there, so it's going to be a scrum here for Kansas City. They're a power team, so this is a nice attacking place for them, Mike.
This is the best field position they've had so far in this game in the opening 10 minutes. The scrum on the 22. Can't ask for a better outcome after just being scored on. So a handling error that time from Atlanta gives Kansas City a chance to punch him back here. And
Big scrum, boys. Here we go.
Set!
Ball in here for Kansas City.
One.
Penalty against Old White.
No.
See what the decision is here. Maybe looking for the corner to get these 5 points. They took the 3 earlier. And they will indeed push this one to the corner, looking for a lead change here. Unconverted try would put them in 8.
Mark's here.
Converted over that. So we'll see what they go for here. Is it the power maul? 4 players work their way in. To the front they go. They're going to go quick. They should have something on out here. Big run. Look at that power, but caught by the absolute shoelaces. Wide they come. Dancing footwork, ball still alive. Old White from Atlanta just resetting here. The ball comes up to the hands of Lemons. Another pick and go. Is that room a wide? A little bit of a looping pass, so not going to happen. They're flat-footed. A bit of a wrestling match there. Who gets penalized? I would imagine. Going to go back for the penalty, actually, for a no wrap tackle. So penalty here for Kansas City.
And Atlanta now under a lot of pressure, John. Just backpedaling a little bit. They've spent the past 2 or 3 minutes inside their own 22 on defense. Kansas City is going to opt for points here to close this gap, put them down by 1. It should be a pretty straightforward chip shot, and I like this call. You've been in this area for a bit of time. You want to walk away with some points. You've got to capitalize when you're inside your opposition 22, and so you took a few strikes, couldn't punch one in for a score, but take 3 points when they're on offer, especially from right in front.
Agree. I think nice methodical play here from this Kansas City team. It's good. So we're at 7-6, 11 and a half minutes gone. Restart will come from Atlanta Old White.
No, that's fine. Okay. You have 30 minutes left.
Referee just sorting something out for a second. We'll be ready to go. Ben Cohen.
No, just arm. This arm got hit. Okay, hang on 1 second. Now, 1 second, guys.
Old White defeated Houston United Rugby and the Fort Lauderdale Knights to get here Kansas City, Fort Wayne, and the Gentlemen of Aspen. Kick bounces there into Doyon's hands.
Scrum advantage light.
Big favor for Atlanta Old White.
No advantage gained. Knock on in the air.
Knock on in the air originally by Kansas City. Says no advantage there to Old White. So attacking opportunity at the scrum here for this Atlanta Old White team, Mike.
And John, I'll tell you what, for all the games that I've broadcasted, this is one of the most frustrating things to watch when this happens in a game, and it happens far too often. A team scores, they get a penalty kick, whatever it is, they get some points on the board, and on the ensuing kickoff, you turn the ball straight back over to your opposition in very good field position. We just saw that happen. Old White scores. They then give the ball right back to Kansas City on the 22. Kansas City puts a kick over. They give the ball right back to Atlanta on the 22. So that's an area that both of these teams want to address. You cannot give up opportunities like that with good field position.
Middle of the field, hard run. Look at that little tip pass, but it gets knocked on. Going to lambaste it downfield right away as Oliver Jones puts it in a touch. You can see clearly Kansas City are aware of that Atlanta Old White threat. So they want to play some territory, make them run from deep.
And that's just good composure there from Kansas City. Quick turnover. They had a knock-on advantage, but realistically, you don't want to have a scrum there. Everybody's got to be up. It was a set-piece move that they had their back line involved in, so there's going to be lots of space in behind. But just the composure, the presence of mind, slow your feet, aim your hips, and just drive that ball into the corner. Excellent execution that time from Kansas City.
Ball up there for Old White. Take it down.
Set.
Mauling that one forward.
6 out.
Good drive. Splintering away Kansas City's defense that gets.
No, you don't.
Didn't need it. Referee had started to put his arm up for an advantage there. They are looking to get away here. Ball's alive. Back in Kansas City hands. Knock on, so an advantage here for Kansas City. Good fortune here. That one bounces again. We'll come back for the scrum.
Guys, first knock on by white, second by red.
JB, we've seen some punishing hits in this game. That one, another one on display. Some of these double tackles, the collisions that we've been witnessing just speaks to how important this game is for both of these sides. Neither one of them are going to be willing to give a single blade of grass. They put so much into it. Take a look at this. That's a fullback on a block.
No more concussions.
Just gets underneath, gets good body height into the contact, jars that ball loose. And again, John, you're going to see this all weekend long. The hits are going to keep on coming. All of these teams have put so much effort in to get to this national championship series. And with so much on the line, rest assured they'll be putting their bodies on the line time and time again.
Nice long arm binds. Nice long arm binds, okay?
Referee just getting the scrum sorted out. Wants the safety here. Is about 15 minutes in. Been good so far. Jacob Field ready to put this in for this Kansas City team. Get them going. Sure, coaching staff will have cooked something up. Richard Diaz and Pat Clifton. Wherever rugby is played, Pat Clifton, but a free kick penalty against Kansas City. A little too wily for their own good.
And that's unfortunate that time for Kansas City. They had great field position. They had a great opportunity there to just camp themselves out in Atlanta's end, launch a good set piece, and unfortunately, they give away a penalty and they'll be backpedaling into their own end.
The old Gary Owen comes up, Heaton goes in and takes it, but seemed to have knocked it forward. Ross Deacon was there as well, chasing. He's going to go to Kansas City, a little favor there. Gadsden has it. Blocked by Kansas City, so we have a line out here for the Old White around their own 40-meter line.
Charge down by red, white line out. Right here.
Great block there from Palmer, one of many brothers on this team. Zane that blocked that kick is the youngest of four brothers play for this Kansas City team. Not all on the starting side, but involved in this great program. Old White, ball in hand. A little bit messy from time to time so far, but Katambwa takes it in.
Use it, White!
Katambwa. Nearly the tip pass there was Rengifo Osorio, but hangs on to it. It's going to be Escobedo. Escobedo comes down that left-hand side. Little pass in there. Out to Mwanjia Imasi. Escobedo shaping the kick. Gives a little head fake there, but puts it up in the air anyway. Into this kind of swirling wind here. Those trees are kind of working their way around behind you. Gadsden. Hands free. Gets it out to the wing. Into Bagby's hands.
20.
Penalty against Old White, Kansas City. Vikings, see Kansas City here just celebrating all those little wins. I think it's really important to them and their coaching staff that everything they do positively, they have to celebrate.
And as they should, John. I mean, you're trying to ride the energy wave that comes in these situations. Look, the stress is high, the stakes are high. You know that there's a lot of nervous energy within these teams. So for all of their supporters, either standing on the sideline or watching this stream back home, they are absolutely on their feet at all times, giving every bit of enthusiasm that they can for these players that are out there. Because like we said, John, you mentioned it, this is where it is. This is American rugby at its finest. This is your community members. This is the families that are playing there together at the local rugby club. This is your engineers, your laborers, your firefighters, your nurses, your doctors, your lawyers from your neighborhood towns. They're out here representing Atlanta. They're out here representing Kansas City, and it is so much fun to watch and so much respect for these players out there right now this weekend.
Time off.
Referee and assistant referee will have a word. We'll listen in.
Okay, thank you. That's what I thought too. Just wanted to confirm. Thank you.
We're not releasing
Not
against
releasing the tackle
Atlanta.
play. You guys can't drag him out. Yeah, guys, on the five. Jan, I thought the same thing. Just thank you for confirming. Guys. I just confirmed with him. I also agreed with him. He just reconfirmed it.
Referee in communication with the players there, letting them know that him and the assistant referee are in agreement for player line out here for Kansas City. Not clean, comes down to Atlanta Old White. Moving forward there.
Guys, use it!
Beto screaming for a penalty. Not getting it, but getting ball here as Old White starts on the move. That's Ross Deacon. Escobedo. Little show, good crisp pass to the outside there. Doyon has a little more room to run right now. Doyon, get through that first tackle. Get through that second tackle. He is away, and it is going to be try awarded off of some beautiful hands there. And Giovanni Doyon is going to be the recipient of the 5 points, but great work there. And what just a blazing run he put in.
Yeah, he pinned his ears back and went for it, absolutely. Great work by this Atlanta side. They shift the ball into the outside channel, pin and pass, draw some defenders in, and then let your speedster do the work. Take a look. They have a shot to bring him down. They've got plenty of numbers on scene. There's one, there's two. Both miss. Away he goes, turning the corner. I'll tell you what, he plays with fire a little bit here at the end as he goes to place this ball down with one hand, but brushes off some tacklers. And here he goes. Take a look. A race all the way to the finish. And this one's uncomfortably close as he goes to put it down, but nonetheless, gets the job done. Another look, step off that outside foot back in field. And a great try from Atlanta.
Kansas City fullback there wasn't terribly interested in that, but yeah, you're right. Could have gotten himself in trouble. Wagging the finger there, letting him know that he did indeed score. Didn't break a nail in the process, so we have a converted try here for this Atlanta Old White team, 14-6. 20 minutes gone in this one. And Mike, you just said it. Do something really great, do something really silly. Coach's nightmare as Doyon knocks that one in a touch.
Yeah, and it's just happened far too much in the many broadcasts that I've done at all different levels. And this is just inexcusable when it happens, and this is where coaches really start to lose their hair and start pulling their hair out as they watch the game from the coach's box, because that's just unfortunate. But redemption time now for Kansas City, so if you're a Kansas City fan, that's exactly what you want to see. And I will say, that's twice in a row that Kansas City has kicked to that corner of the field, and it's worked out for them. Both times resulted in a scrum for Kansas City, so you'd imagine they've identified an opportunity, and they're going to keep going after it every time on kickoffs into that same area.
Ball here for Field. Gets it out there to Jones. Dummy runner came in. That one gives a little more running momentum to the wing as he comes onto the ball, but still held down by that Atlanta Old White defense. One of the big fellas comes through there. Jake Gaston can't find room. Did they spill that one forward? Is there a penalty not releasing? We'll see who this is. Quick tap coming there. They're going to run some bodies at him.
No, he hasn't.
Choose Sean Dilly this time. Ball spills there. A little bit of mistake. Oof. Not what Kansas City needed there. Just lost a little composure. Knock it on. It's going to be a scrum here for Atlanta Old White.
You hit the nail on the head. Composure was the key word. Kansas City was going forward. They had so much energy. You could see they were a little bit frantic, though. It was a great pass from their scrum half to the oncoming lock, straight through a gap. They were rumbling forward. They had Atlanta backpedaling. They earned themselves a penalty for not releasing. And then at that point in time, they go into contact. It's slow ball, and they're still trying to play a little bit out wide into the backs channels. In those moments, just hit the brakes, use your forwards, pick and go around the corner, play a bit of smash mouth rugby, very direct, force them to make those defensive stands around the breakdown. So a little bit too much that time from Kansas City on attack.
Yeah, stop. Rotating too much. Just rotate too much. Johan, watch that side for me.
Scrum to come here. It's going to be Atlanta Old White ball. Some power here for Kansas City. They try to draw a penalty if they can. This will be a good place. Escobedo. Field.
Set!
Two very live wire scrum halves here. Ball's going to come back to Deacon's feet, and Escobedo will move it right to the boot. They go, do Old White. Not the distance they want, just outside the 22 there. So opportunity again here for Kansas City.
That's good pressure from Kansas City in those situations. Really smart defense from them. You know that the opposition is going to kick the ball downfield. You talk about teams making mistakes in the wrong areas of the field. So many teams would give away a penalty in that situation for one reason or another. But Kansas City, they keep their discipline, they hold their water, they pressure the kick properly, and they reap the benefits of it. A line out just outside the 22.
Sails over the top, unfortunately, into the hands of Isamoto. That one spilled forward.
Guys, first knock on by White.
A little bit of a patch of knock-ons here and little mistakes. A lot of set-piece play for the last 5 minutes in this Division II semifinal. This one will go the favor of Kansas City.
Yeah, just an overthrow at the line out there, John. Unfortunately for Kansas City, we just mentioned that was great territory and field position for them, resulting from good pressure on that clearance kick. But hang on to possession. Atlanta coughs that ball up in contact. So we get a scrum now. We get a chance to see what the Kansas City backs have been working on at practice from this set piece launch.
Talk about stability. Yes, again. Okay.
Come on, let's go. Work on. Come on, Charlie.
Good boys. Good.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Kansas City gets us underway. Field.
Backwards.
Runner coming onto it. It goes backwards. They still have it alive. Comes up into Caleb Freeman's hands. Going to send the big boys in. Not too much distance.
No, right, no hands!
Kansas City power game comes. Illegally stolen there. Ref not happy with Ross Deacon. Ross Deacon's going to leave that one behind. Thought he had rights to it. Certainly did not.
And here's another look at it. Kansas City.
Just all the way to the ground.
Yeah, Deacons just goes down a little bit. Looks like he lost his footing maybe. Ended up on his forearms. And so Kansas City with another attempt at goal here. And so far they haven't been able to find the try line, but they've certainly benefited from the back of a few penalties against Atlanta. This one a little bit long by the 40-meter line. But certainly from what we've seen, he has a leg to be able to get the range on this.
Yeah, he certainly does have the distance for this one. They are just trying to keep that scoreline close. Probably a pre-planned tactic. If those points are on offer, you're not finding it. Let's get the 3 points on the board. And they do. So they're just down by an unconverted try at the moment. Going into the 30-minute mark, about 28 minutes gone in this one. 14-9, Old White leaves in this USA Club Rugby Division II semifinal.
Make sure they stay.
Belmont Shore, North Bay, the other.
Make sure to stay 5. We'll make sure they're staying 5, okay? Going right again? Okay. Yeah, and Kristen, just make sure everyone's back 5 on attack. So, let's start marking both.
Old White goes a little bit longer, ball up in the air, well taken there, not letting it hit the grounds, Kansas City. It was close. Player down, a little bit of bother there for this Old White team. As they hang one up in the air, is it going to find green grass? Is going to go over Gadsden's head. Gadsden comes back to regather, gets a quick pass away. On the counterattack, here comes Shea O'Hanlon. Out to the wing they go, Doyon. Can he repeat his heroics from earlier? Doesn't look that way.
Stop.
Player injured nearby, so they're going to have to stop for this one.
No, just. No. Guys down.
And that's unfortunate there, John. You never like to see any of the players down on the field, certainly not in this situation either. Very uncomfortable right there with the physios providing some very important medical support. So we talk about so many of the players that are out there this weekend and the amount of respect for what they do, but certainly to our medical team that's down there on the field, keeping everybody active and healthy. A big thanks to them and for the work that they do. As you get a look at both teams having a chance to digest what's happened over the course of the first 30 minutes. And if you're Atlanta, John, you've got to be talking about discipline, because so far right now, your ill discipline has kept Kansas City in this game. They have not been able to find the try line. They've only got a couple of penalty kicks to show for it. So Atlanta's got to button up that aspect of their game. They know that Kansas City's got a great kicking game. They cannot give away penalties anywhere from 40 meters and in, where they will be punished with 3 points on the board.
11 left. You guys broke my watch, and I have to do my
Referee says 11 minutes left to go on this one. Our clock is on here, so it's going to be a scrum to Old White. As you said, the discipline here for Atlanta. Such threats across the board, leading by 5. Kansas City playing a smart, strategic game to make that happen. Said going after everything, contesting the breakdowns, making sure they cover the width. Escobedo. Middle of the field they go. A little wrap around there. Space opens up for O'Hanlon. Now they got the runner. Doyon again, putting it through. Hands off one. He is unstoppable at the moment in full flight. Doyon comes off his wing, scores on the other. Another 5 points there for this Old White team.
John, that was textbook stuff from that Atlanta back line. It starts up front, a great scrum platform to launch from. Pass in front, take a look at this. 2 centers, straight into the midfield at the line. Your blindside wing trails your fly half, looping around the back. Kansas City tries to cut off the passing channel, but a good dummy and go You can't draw that up better in the classroom. Take a look. Here it is. The gap opens for him, and he takes it.
Did you no favors?
And then just put the ball in the hands of your speedster, and once again, making Kansas City defenders miss. In he goes for his second try of the game. That is outstanding stuff on the attacking side of the ball from this Atlanta Old White team.
Great work, Doyon. Nearly went to visit one of the many fans here in attendance at the Chicago Blaze Rugby facility, playing host this weekend. One is going to bounce off the front of the post, so 19-9, 10 points in it. 9 minutes to go in this first half. Kansas City will have the restart.
I have 9 left. 9 left.
Kansas City needs some possession now, John. Expect them to kick to this near corner of our video screen and get another look at it. Take a look at it. I am a big fan of this backline strike move. Whenever I've been coaching, that is one of the first plays that I put into our playbook. You shift that ball into the midfield. You send 2 heavy runners straight into the heart of the defense. Send them really flat, and you got options. You either hit the short ball carrier or you go out the back to your fly F, and that time it pays dividends going out the back and around the corner.
Use it! Stay outside,
Escobedo. Going to the boot here. Escobedo.
Outside the 22.
Hands one up. Outside the 22. So we're going to come back for a scrum. Sorry, for a line out. Closer to the 22. And myself mixed up for a sec.
5.
And again, John, they may have taken that kickoff cleanly, Atlanta, after scoring, but then they kick it right out of bounds from outside the 22. And so for the third time in the game, in this similar area of the field, right after Atlanta has done something well, Kansas City is now parked around that 22-meter line in the attacking end.
It'll be red, why not?
You know, and as you said, Mike, the history is shown. Phase, penalty. Put 3 more points on the board. Draw yourself a little closer. That we'll see if it comes true again. Kansas City playing wisely.
Hold the ball, please. Hold it. Yeah, and I'm waiting for it to go up. Hold it, Chris! Guys, I told him to hold it. Oh, I know. Ready? Sorry, guys. Time on.
Ball up, tipped back. Is it going to go to Kansas City? It will. That was fine. Just bounced down and then a little bit back forward, but it's all good. Penalty coming. There we go again, Mike.
Player first. I know, but then he can't.
There it is. Like we said, discipline has got to be a key talking point for this Atlanta team. I'd be surprised if Kansas City didn't go for points again to close this gap. They may go to the corner, though, because they are now a little bit further behind than they have been. And that's exactly what they do. They go to the corner. They're going to want to try to punch one in. That's a great, great touch finder. That's going to put his side within the 10-meter mark of that try line. And so expect to see Kansas City here go to work, and they are hunting for that first try of the game. And they need something here before halftime to get a bit of wind in their sails and get their confidence up.
They've been bringing 4 into the line out down here. Finally, they bring a few more people in. Put it in the middle there. I thought they might have gone for a maul, try to use some power. They have some big fellas in that pack. Thought they might get it there. They're going to switch it back. But a double tackle is going to stop that one up. Referees on the spot. Everybody calling for a penalty as usual as they come out wide. Not having the gas there is Gaston. He would have loved it. He hit a little bit of open ground. Comes back in, sets it up.
Use it!
Referee telling these players to use it. A little slow that time, so well read by the Atlanta Old White defense.
No! Last foot, back.
That pass goes there. They were looking for the pick and go. Need to move a little faster. They're just letting Old White understand what they're going to do almost every time. But they have an advantage again as they go wide. They've got a free play. They get it back in. What can they make happen?
So punt penalty advantage, red.
Looking for it himself, not finding it is Jacob Field.
Still punt penalty advantage. Use it!
Going wider now. Looking to the outside, which is closing down. Good footwork coming. That is Colson Warner. Colson Warner,
Guys, no
highly
advantage
regarded
gain.
player.
Back.
We're going to come back for the penalty, however.
Offsides. One white. Offsides. Number one white.
John Atlanta's got to be really careful here. They've given a lot of penalties away inside the 22. And in reality, Kansas City has not really threatened the defensive line. They've gone side to side, very lateral in their attack.
Captain.
And the only way, again, that so far Kansas City has been able to score and capitalize on the scoreboard is just by kicks. And so if you are Old White, you've got to be talking about discipline, especially in this area of the field.
There's two tackles.
Certainly, referees talking to him about it right now, of course.
In this red zone, the discipline needs to come up, and the discipline on the breakdowns needs to increase, okay? Can I take a second? Yes, you can, okay? Thank you. No.
Heaton going to have a word with his boys here.
As we're not, I'm going to wait till that's treated, because it's going to be a live ball, okay? Okay, thank you. What'd you do?
Never been a long conversation here, Mike.
PCL, MCL, PCL, meniscus.
How long it takes the guys to stop being silly? It seems to take a bit.
I'll tell you what, John, too often in games, you see a referee give an opportunity to a captain to have a word with their team, and the captain does not take advantage of that. There's not a lot of moments where you get to rally together and get around each other and have a conversation. And so Matt Heaton, not his first rodeo, a true veteran leader, and does a great job of just bringing everybody in and saying, hey, look, we're giving away too many penalties in here. I mean, you can put yourself in that circle. Too many penalties in here. We've got to keep our discipline. We're playing well on defense. We're keeping them out of the try zone, but we have to maintain our discipline. We can't give them 3 points like this.
Well, there it is, another 3 points on the board. So we're at 12. Converted try between these teams. Restart coming here from Old White. 4.5 minutes to go in this first half. Who will have the final say? We'll find out soon. As we have a change coming in here for Kansas City.
Yeah, hold on. There's 7 red 8. Just make sure he gets off. Okay. You going right? Perfect. Thank you. 5 left, boys. 5 minutes.
Referee says we're about full 5 here. Long kick here from Old White. Well taken by Kansas City. Runner coming onto that one. Met by
no hands, no hands.
Referee again telling Old White to stay away from that.
Red,
At the try line, they're going to launch one downfield. Our Kansas City. Gadsden has it. Referee telling somebody to retreat. Assume he has so far as it comes across from Lemont. Open space in the middle of the field. The gas is on there. Bagby held down eventually. He's going to get to the 22. Ball comes up into the hands of Abdullah. Abdullah takes that one into contact. Escobedo finds O'Hanlon. Middle of the field they come. Nice long pass there into Fontana's hands. Fontana gets to the Doyen, doesn't get a hat trick and loses it out of hand. Good fortune there for this Kansas City team. Exchange of pleasantries there.
Yes.
And Atlanta again just test these outside channels. Here it is, another 2-on-1 situation. They scramble well though, and that's a great cover tackle that time. Great work by Kansas City. When you're in those 2-on-1 situations, you play the ball exactly like he does. He's got great body position running down the line. Outstanding work. But let's listen to our referees.
Thank you. Captain. Come here. Captain. Guys, 55 minutes, beautiful day, beautiful rugby, guys. Extracurricular stuff, don't need it. You guys are really good teams. Let's play rugby. Let's just get on with it, okay? Party. You have a knock on it to touch by White. Option, scrum or line out. Come. Okay. Knock on.
Scrum at their 5-meter line for Kansas City. Ref saying no more of this off-the-ball stuff. It's been a good 35 minutes. Tempers spraying just before halftime here.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
And John, the pressure is still on Kansas City here. This is one of the most uncomfortable spots to be. 5-meter scrum, backs up against your own goal line. It's got to be tough in these situations to clear your lines. You got to make sure you maintain possession. And you got to make sure you give yourself some breathing room, especially as we near that halftime whistle.
And there's the big drive from Old White. Who's going to get the penalty here? It's going to go against Old White, so in the favor of Kansas City. I don't think that was Kansas City's doing there, Mike, so I think you're right. They were under pressure, but it just worked out for them in the end.
And that's the thing. That's what's so hard about this. If you're Atlanta in that situation, you know exactly what's going to happen, right? You know that they're going to set a platform. They're not going to get a lot of meters off of it. They're going to drop into the pocket, and they're going to kick the ball right back to you. To give away a penalty at scrum time in that situation and go so aggressively after that set piece and jeopardize it, I'm not sure that I agree with that call in those situations because you know you're going to get the ball back.
Escobedo pushes it back. Doyon has it. He's off to the races, going all the way across field in his zone at the moment. Still alive through another couple of tackles. He is certainly hard to take down.
Advantage gained.
Advantage gain there. A little pop-up try possibly coming here. Here go Atlanta, Old White. And Mulumba Katambwa is going to take that one down, touch it down. Little pass off from Peroy.
And a great sequence here from Atlanta as you get a look and you talk about someone that's difficult to take down. I mean, for Kansas City, you cannot let a ball carrier run all the way across the field like that. But here he goes nonetheless, tucks it under his arm. Powerful run going forward, but take a look now. Here we go. Nice play there, good fend off, good heads up from Atlanta. And a great finish from the forward pack to just find that seam right alongside the ruck. Really nice job. That's very difficult to defend, especially when you're scrambling going backwards. Those are when you see those types of line breaks, John. After a big line break, the next phase, you're scrambling on defense and you leave the fringe open.
And that is going to be halftime. We're going to have an interview coming up here. Atlanta Old White scores at the end there. Kansas City playing wisely and gamely throughout this half. We're going to see some side for halftime in just a minute. But right now we have Great American Rugby's Lance Kavanaugh.
We're down on the field with Kansas City head coach Pat Clifton. The gentlemen are battling, playing a very strong Atlanta side. What do you think of that first half?
Look, I think we met them physically. We got to stretch our space a little bit and our shape a little bit on defense and clean up some of our errors. There's probably 6 more points that we could have taken that we left off the board, and that's an 8-point game if we take them. So we just got to play a little bit smarter and a little bit quicker in the second half, I think.
Coach, you guys got a task ahead of you. How do you feel about the gentlemen's chances going into this second half?
Look, we've got a great team, and we've been through a hell of a lot worse than being down by a couple scores. So I like our chances to put something on here in the second half.
All right, good luck to you in the second half, Coach. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Pat Clifton, leading these boys. And you can see how calm he is. We'll see how that translates into the second half. We'll be right back here at the Chicago Blaze Complex for the Club National Championships.
Stop muscle cramps now. When a muscle cramp hits, you don't need a routine. You need relief now. Pickle Juice is a hyper-functional performance beverage made to stop muscle cramps within 60 seconds. All natural, clinically proven, built for real life. When a muscle cramp hits, hit back.
A message from the rugby universe. America, get in the game! It's time the sleeping giant of rugby got off the sideline and into the action. But like all big jobs, you'll need the right tools. Go to worldrugbyshop.com for boots, jerseys, shorts, and scrum caps. Everything you'll need to rock and roll. Get the right kit for playing and training, plus the finest selection of official supporters gear from around the globe. worldrugbyshop.com, America's home for rugby.
Credo Rugby is a club development platform that helps rugby clubs create and sell their own on-field training and fan supporters gear. We work with clubs of all sizes, from grassroots to professional, and help them generate revenue to support their continuous development.
Tell me about your experience with RCT so far.
Well, I think my experience can be best described as really fun and community bonding because I meet so many new people playing the sport I love.
I wrestle and I play football, and there's nothing like rugby.
Yeah, everybody that I've ever met that tries rugby just comes to one practice has ended up liking it. And I asked her like what it was, and she said like full contact, like same rules, guys and girls, and I didn't believe her. And then she was like, oh, come out to our practices, and I did, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to play. And then I started playing. It was really fun.
I don't know, it's just a game that I love. It's pretty fun though, I don't know, I just love everything about it.
The laid-back atmosphere of it, we all be friends on the field and off the field.
Just the bond and the vibe from everybody is nice and builds like a lot of character.
You should play it. Play rugby. That's it.
Like how we can like beat out of each other in the game, but then we like come together after and we're just like shake hands.
What do you think that is? Why is that?
I personally think it's like, it's just, we're all one community, like it's one family. You all play rugby, it's just one family.
It's a sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you have to have respect for the person going after you because you work hard and they have to work just as hard after you.
So you say that respect is probably the greatest value you can gain out of this game?
By far. Yeah. By far.
It's great. We all love each other. We all like hanging out at these tournaments.
Just meeting so many new people and getting to know them is just amazing. And meeting so many new friends is definitely...
One word is family. Like you got people like you could depend on.
Probably my favorite part of playing rugby is like I can forget any problem I'm having at school or at home or just any kind of worry or burden and just like giving my all on the field.
And we all choose to come here. We don't have to be here, you know. It's just good fun coming out on a Sunday, playing, getting all together, and just great.
All right, so yeah, I think it's the fact that we can play very hard, smack each other up, boom each other, and just eat good, to talk to and laugh with each other after.
So, one thing that rugby's done for you?
It's brought up a lot of my confidence. I wasn't very confident in middle school, and I knew that if I wanted to become a better player, I would have to bring up my game, which I did, and I've just become so much like a better person to myself. I see myself in such a bigger light, and I'm honestly so much happier playing rugby.
I ain't gonna lie, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would like be around here, to be honest. So I guess family.
New York Rugby Club is a great community because they put you around great people such as Alex, my coach Alex, and he teaches me more about rugby, how I can make my game better every day and elevate it to the next.
Nah, but like, you feel me? But like, I bet like you know how the hood is, so you know like it's crazy, like around shooters and all that stuff. So it's just keeping me out from there, and then changing from like me got to worry about, I can't walk here, instead of just changing my life and being positive and don't need to worry about anything that much.
I think people really underestimate women in sports. Like in my school, rugby, especially the girls' rugby, is really strong, and I don't think a lot of people expect that that women can have the sort of strength or like sort of
And we are back on the field for the second half of this D2 national semifinal match. I'm here with Coach Telly, assistant coach for the Atlanta Old White. The gentlemen got a lead, but there's a second half and a lot more rugby to play. Tell me about these guys going into the second half.
Yeah, it's really about just getting our body height low again, keeping it really low in the tackle, but even more importantly, low in the offensive breakdown. So that way we can get that extra meter, yard, keep that ball fast moving. We got power backs that are really up there ready to run. We just need that ball out quicker.
Absolutely, Coach. Good luck in the second half. The gentlemen of Atlanta got the lead for now, but Kansas City will not go down without a fight. We'll get the second half kicking off right here.
Thank you, Lance. We will talk to you in a bit. We're good for kickoff here. It is going to be Old White kicking off to Kansas City. Atlanta versus Kansas City here. John Broker with Mike Petrie bringing you this action Division II semifinal. Other one is North Bay versus Belmont Shore. Winners play tomorrow. 40 minutes to go. All penalty kicks so far from this Kansas City team. Old White, as you heard the assistant coach there say, a bit more of the firepower in the backs. They haven't been able to utilize it as much as they want. Contested kick comes up, knocked back into the hands of Ross Deacon. Deacon on the ground. Back to the initial knock on there. Mike, these contestable kickoffs these days, everybody's going for, wind up in a few of these scrums.
Yeah, there's so many different options off these kickoffs, and we've seen both teams actually benefit from some long kickoffs throughout this game. And take a look, how about that? Talk about a fan base and a traveling fan base. Absolutely. Loving that for sure. As we get a look at just some self-hype here from Kansas City on defense, but a good strike opportunity now. Yeah, a good strike opportunity now for Atlanta, with a good area of the field to play with and a little blindside. I'll tell you what, if this were me and Ross Deacon's at 8, for me in Atlanta, I'm going down that channel with Ross Deacon every single time.
Deacon at the back. Plenty of valuable rugby experience he's bringing to this Atlanta Old White team.
Fine! Set!
Ball to the back. Escobedo. In they come. Strong run there. Caroy brings that one in. Escobedo calling for something from the referee. Referee saying, hey, there's a ball there, man. Let's pass this thing and keep playing some rugby. But eventually he's going to go back and give the penalty.
12, not rolling. Guys. That's your one.
And that's what they were looking for. You could see a couple of Atlanta players just looking at the referee saying, we cannot even get to the ball because it's trapped under one of the opposition players. And so then referee has to intervene. And here we are, penalty and line out for Atlanta. Not a great mark. It only goes a couple of meters, but that's okay. Atlanta still maintains possession. They're about 20 meters out from the goal line. A little get-together here to plan their attack now, and you'd imagine that the forwards will be calling their own number. You get a look at Ross Deacon's going to step into that halfback spot, and so he'll try to, I would think, get some go forward in this maul.
Ball there for Old White. Kansas City staying off of that one. They start to drive it forwards. They get the scrum here, do Kansas City. So many little new peculiarities coming into those line-out laws. Whether the first player can go, somebody can hang onto that ball.
I told you guys to use it. You guys do it.
Referee telling Old White he told them to use it. We'll take another look here, Mike.
Everyone needs to unbind too.
Cue from Atlanta.
Everyone needs to unbind.
As they missed that back lifter. And so take a look. I see what Matt Heaton's trying to say there, though. He never actually handed that ball backwards. He still was promoted in the front. His teammates were around him, sort of on the sides and behind him on his team side. So I can see how he could question the call a little bit, but nonetheless, the miscue from Atlanta, and it's a turnover to Kansas City.
Kansas City in front of their own post, looking to run this one. Tactic change from the first half. Going the speed here. Doyon watches somebody come by him, which is probably a rarity for him. Here come Kansas City. They've stretched the field wide. Do they have some play coming back across? They have a penalty here is what they have. Player coming in on an angle, so it's going to be Old White's ball here.
Yeah, and that's just unlucky that time for Kansas City. They spin that ball into the outside channels. And then take a look at this. Easy call from a referee. Look at his hips. They are pointed directly at the sidelines. And those are pictures that the referee is looking at. They are looking at where your hips are pointing. And, I mean, take a look. This is as sideways as it gets when you do that ruck entry. Your hips have to be pointing upfield towards the goal line. And that was aiming towards the benches on the sideline. So an easy call for our referee. But the urgency from Kansas City was because they're putting tempo into their game. You heard their head coach, Pat Clifton, say they want to increase the energy and the tempo at which they're playing. But then they found themselves isolated in the midfield. So they came off that sideline really quickly, and they didn't have enough support, and that forces a bad entry at the breakdown.
Ball up here from Old White, taken down by Kansas City. Doing a great job. Very well scouted, our Old White, by the coaching staff from Kansas City. The players just seem to have some inkling of how to disrupt there at times like that. And it's worked for them so far. So line out here for Atlanta Old White, but a little further out.
On their most recent lineout, they had that miscue where they missed the back lifter, so they've got to get this throw right. They're enjoying a comfortable lead right now, up by 2 scores. But nonetheless, you still want to make sure you get these right. This is an important part of your system. And they don't get it exactly right, but Heaton comes down with it.
Heaton's going to make some forward progress, as you would imagine. Escobedo looks out. Little pass inside to Ross Deacon. Deacon makes a couple of meters. Escobedo gets a quick ball. Ball hits the ground. Knocked on. Doyen might have been away with that.
It was me, guys. It was me.
And that's unlucky from Atlanta. The service has been consistently good all day long. And you can see there that just errant pass low. That's the first real errant pass we've seen from this Atlanta halfback pairing. And just at an unfortunate time as they're knocking on the doorstep of Kansas City's goal line. And nonetheless, we're parked in this area. We're moving a bit laterally back and forth across the field. Neither team really getting much out of these opportunities. But Kansas City now, last time from this field position, they spun it into the outside channel, though, John. We'll see if they go for it again.
One again. Coming across.
What we're going to do is we're going to do the penalty. It's another penalty against Gouda.
And again, John, that's the second scrum penalty that Atlanta has given away inside of Kansas City's 22. You can see what they're trying to do here. They definitely are trying to assert some dominance. They're trying to get some good go forward and disrupt this Kansas City set-piece platform. But they're doing it in such a way that the referee is just not happy with the drive. Again, you talk about looking at hips and you look at body position. We saw in the breakdown earlier, the referee was clearly looking at a side entry from the body position of the incoming player, and that's what they're looking at scrum time, too. They're looking at that front row. They're taking a look at what they're seeing picture-wise from their body position. They're looking at their hips. They're looking at their shoulders, and so far our referee is not liking what they're seeing from this Atlanta side.
Little misname on my part there was McAfee, not Gouda, the replacement. Loosehead committed that infraction. Choreography that is the line out comes here from Kansas City. Not contested. Going to let him play. Little break up the middle here. Well spotted. Trying to hold on to himself. Around he goes. What work there from Jacob Field. Jacob Field taking on everybody, but eventually gets isolated. Doesn't release the ball. And Atlanta Old White looks like Heaton called to the fore and makes that happen.
I love this little line break from Kansas City. It starts at the line out. Almost framed it like a catcher because that did not look straight, that throw, but the lifter, the jumper, I should say, frames it so well. And then how about that collision? Oof. Tell you what, John, that's why I'm happy I'm on this side of the white line now in the booth with you, because as a number 9 running an open field, I don't want to run into brick walls like that anymore.
Yeah, that big tackle. Mwangia Masse putting in that contact.
And here's another look from a different angle. Ouch.
Red, here's your mark.
You feel that one here. It was a good line break, but an even better defense. And that is just, again, that is the reason, John, why I am so happy to be watching this through our television screen.
Yes. I miss rugby a lot sometimes. Certain things you definitely don't. Ball goes backwards, up into the hands of Kansas City. Down 26-12 and chipping away throughout the game with penalty kicks. Need to get some 5-pointers on the board here as that one sails past. Who will this get penalty against Old White? High tackle. Old White here, opportunity to penalize. Kansas City, opportunity to put this down to the corner potentially.
And again, just the discipline from Atlanta, handing opportunities for Kansas City to advance upfield. We haven't seen a lot of legitimate attacking threats from this Kansas City side outside of a couple of line breaks, that one most recently from Kansas City off the line out. A lot of it has been done by Atlanta just giving them penalties to advance upfield. But this Kansas City side, there's so much pace, as Coach Pat Clifton said, there's so much energy in them. You got to imagine at some point they're going to start firing.
No, hands out.
Ball coming forward here. The egg has been hatched, as they say. So Kansas City, they're going to get a little still ball here. So this Old White team has the opportunity to get in. Karoy puts a boot to it. Race of the big boys here coming back. Karoy playing a bit of soccer all of a sudden, finally gets it in his hands. Old White changes their fortunes there inside the 22. Ross Deacon steps into that distributor role there, gets the ball into the hands of Hisamoto. Escobedo looking for a runner. In front of the post they go. Wider looking around. Heaton, nice little pass. Doyen ducks it on the tackle. Can't find room. Heaton. Escobedo. Looking for a runner. Finds one. In they go. Escobedo. Quick ball. Once again. Good work. Gets it to Ian Wilson. Ian Wilson. Good defense coming up there. Keeping Katambwa a little held as the ball comes back to McAfee. McAfee. Ball across here. Runners coming. There's some space out wide. What's going to happen in this one? It's going to be Bagby getting caught up. Such scramble defense here from this Kansas City team. They are just not willing to give an inch here. It'll be harder to find as we go, and that one spills forward. Kansas City, credit to them. Maybe some space out back if they can take this advantage, just launch it downfield, and they do. Middle of the field, they give it out there to Mwanji Imase. Mwanji Imase shakes off one. Has a second on him. The third one is there to bring him down. Can they turn this one over? Player from Kansas City is in and over. Thought that was a pretty good rip there. The player, he said, put his hands on over the ground there, Mike. So penalty here for Old White.
And that's just unlucky. Take a look at this. We saw him make a big hit on the other end of the field on the defensive side. How about the big hit on the offensive side? And unfortunately for Kansas City, they lose their footing, and so that's what our referee has called. They lost their feet first. He fell onto his forearms, and so although the steal looked clean, he ended up losing his footing. Take a look. I mean, the defender is off-centered there to begin with, so that was that's like a freight train coming through. But again, got one more reason to add to the tally of why I'm happy to be on this side of the screen.
Here's the mark, guys. Thank you.
Matthew Fontana.
Just say.
Changes for Old White. One not clean, but taken down again. Good work here by Kansas City again. Try to stop Karoy before he gets started. As Deacon barrels his way through a couple. Quick ball, little chip in behind. It sits high. Is it going to sit all right? Put back there. Is it a try? Good question.
Okay.
Player got there just before the line.
Goal line drop. Goal line drop.
Nearly an impressive bit of skill there to score a try, Mike, but the knock-on comes.
I think our photographer was going to get credit for this try. Take a look. Here it is on a laser right towards the photographer in the back of the end zone. That's a good save, though, and then, unfortunately for Atlanta. just wasn't to be.
And Doyen was right on it. That would have been an impressive try if Doyen couldn't get on that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was the right option, though. The space was in behind. They got the right bounce. I really like what they're doing here in Atlanta. They're just keeping this Kansas City side on their toes. And at the very worst, here's what happens. You end up with a goal line dropout. So good option from Atlanta that time.
Ross Deacon barrels his way into 3. Ball there out to Katambwa. Heaton. Uncharacteristic miss for Heaton, so scrum for Kansas City.
Kansas City has not had a lot of possession so far, and you can see Atlanta here just shifting the ball out into those channels. You can see Matt Heaton just looking up a little bit too quickly, just took his eyes off the ball momentarily, and just enough to mishandle that one. And so Kansas City, with not a lot of time is not their friend right now. 25 minutes left to play, and quite a bit of work to do on the scoreboard. You got to imagine they've got to get some pep in their step right now, and they've got a long ways to go. They are camped out in their own end.
Coach! Bind! Set!
Out there from Kansas City. Kansas City around the back. They know they need his 5-pointers. Get it to the speedster. Little chip ahead. Can they get in behind? Is this player onside? Where's it going to come down? Comes down into Kansas City hands. There's a support runner. There's a defender coming. Doyen, such an attacker. Can he make this tackle happen? They're in, they're over. Is it all good? Referee put that little quick whistle in there, so I think he's going to have a conversation. But what work there from Kansas City.
Captain, team behind the try line. Behind the try line first. I don't need you yet. Okay, I have 2 penalties. One was playing the man without the ball behind me. I have 14 white, high tackle, about to score. No high tackle, no foul play. I'm taking try. Okay. So penalty try, yellow card. 14. Okay.
Interesting, Mike.
14. Come here. I will. I don't need you.
As you look here, that's going to come down with the referees are going to make
high
some
tackle.
changes here.
2 meters from the goal line. Probable try being scored. Foul play prevents that try. Okay?
Now, only thing I'm going to say
foul
is
play.
there was a stiff arm from their man.
Foul play prevents that try. Guys, go.
The referee doesn't want to hear it. Doyen is going to be off the field for 10 minutes. Try for Kansas City, the home-built club, as they call themselves. Get on the board. They're looking for a little comeback here. Mike, this was fantastic.
Fantastic is right. It starts with that set piece, and I said we've seen them sling the ball into the outside channels a few times from similar positions, but how about this athleticism? The kick over the top, maintains his balance, maintains his just feet underneath of him, and then there's the suplex right near the goal line, and then the outstretched arm. So I think that's a try anyway, if we're honest about it. He wasn't held. So I think that's a try no matter what, but nonetheless, an automatic 7 for Kansas City, and they are right back in this game, especially now with a 1-player advantage. We talked about Pat Clifton, had all the confidence in the world, their head coach, heading into halftime. He said, we've been in this situation before. We've been tried and tried again, and we are ready for it, and we are in a good place. And right now, Kansas City definitely has their tails up.
Kansas City, ball in hand. You've seen, we may talk about it as we go, a little change in tactic from Kansas City. First half, a little conservative, taking those points, widening out a little bit just here. Not sure if this old white team is expecting it, but they're getting it wider, looking for those 5-pointers.
Hey, man, it was a good jump. Same.
We'll take another look at the back end of this. And again, remember, this started off a scrum set piece. They swing the ball into the outside channel, and then watch this. The ball just kind of skips around, coughs up right into his hands, then he keeps his feet. I mean, this has to be one of the most athletic plays that I have seen, hands down, not just this weekend, but in rugby in general. And a lot of games that I've broadcasted so far, I mean, that was just phenomenal. I could watch that over and over again on replay because that was fun to watch. That was individual brilliance from Kansas City.
Certainly was. Old White will they answer here. 57 minutes gone. They have a powerful midfield shown right there. Deacon looking for that little offload there, but doesn't come. Oh, boy. One of these hallmarks, Mike, is this Kansas City team, I hope I'm not cursing them here, has just held so firm in this area. It's been so hard for Old White to score when they get down here.
Tackle.
They come again. Wave after wave. Defenders stepping up. Red, white, and blue defense. Everybody raising their hand to make a tackle. Ball comes wide. Miscue right there. Forcing some mistakes on this Old White team.
You're right, John. Great defense that time from Kansas City, just pushing Atlanta side to side, moving laterally across the field as you get a look there at why Atlanta has an extra player on the field. And again, the extra player that they have, the advantage they have is in those outside channels, and we've seen them spin the ball wide quite a few times. You'd imagine that over the next 9 minutes, they're going to be doing much more of that same thing and keep pushing the width of this Atlanta side, but they need possession. They played a bit of defense just now. That's not where you want to be. When you have that player advantage, you don't want to be playing too much defense. And what I would say, although they have been very strong on defense, they've given Atlanta far too quickly to be able to move the ball away from the breakdown. So one thing they have to do is keep their discipline, but slow down Atlanta's attack as best as they can. They have to put some bodies into the breakdown, put a bit of weight in there, give themselves some time to fan out on defense, and then launch off the defensive line and continue to put pressure on the Atlanta attack. As we get a look here at, we talked about how important this weekend is. John, these guys, it's going to take more than a bit of tape to get them off the field. You're going to need forklifts and tractor trailers to take people off the field this weekend for all that this is worth.
Certainly are. Trainers keeping them going here. Not sure there's much tape left at the store in Kansas City right now, but trainer has them taped up, back on the field, they're ready to go. It is a line out here for Kansas City. Eaton having a word here, cool head, trying to get his team to understand what they need to do.
Captain, good? Yes.
Ball down, Kansas City. They tried to intercept that one, but it's in hand. They're at the 22. Big hit comes in from Kadoy. Can't rip the ball away. Ripped away that time by Kadoy. This may be a difference maker right here. These are the times they've been finding it is Atlanta Old White. Now they have the ball right 5 meters out. Kansas City cues up, but there's the try line. Player is in, player is over. Another try here for Old White. Off a turnover ball there. Tough luck for Kansas City.
Tough luck for Kansas City is right. That is just demoralizing when you have that player advantage. You just scored, you're fighting your way back in, you're down by one converted try, and the next thing you know, they punch you right in the mouth, and that's exactly what Atlanta does. They just go straight through the heart of this Kansas City defense, right around the fringe, very direct, nothing flashy about it. And again, that's why Atlanta, we mentioned earlier at the top of the show, they are the defending champions, and this is why. They have that mental resiliency. They're scored on, and then they come right back at you on the other side of the field. So credit to Atlanta, keeping their composure, getting the turnover, and then finding the try line.
That one no good, but the 10 goes off there for Kansas City. Oliver Jones going to be replaced, stalwart of this club for a very long time. It gets a hug from Pat Clifton right on the side there. Down 31-19, Kansas City at the 60-minute mark, 20 minutes to go. Put some fresh legs in. And they continue to open this up. The second half, and that change of tactics, and that's going to help them right there. Rare miss.
But there it is again, John. We've talked about it. We've talked about it in the show several times. Atlanta, you do something well, you give yourself a cushion on the scoreboard, and on the ensuing kickoff, you drop the ball. And so this just comes down to body position. So when you take these balls, got to turn yourself around a little bit. It was a good effort. Love that he gets up in the air. Love that he goes up for it. It's good intent. Just got to turn those hips a little bit back towards your team. Just fundamental stuff in terms of if you miss, it drops backwards. And unfortunately, because he stays square upfield, he misses and it drops forward for Kansas City.
Shoulder through. A little bit more, so it's more in line, okay? Thank you.
Let's go. Coming. Time burner.
Thank you. Coach! Bind! Set! Keep it up.
Ball in there for Kansas City. Coming around the back here, looking for that run. Players in the middle. Was that a high tackle? In and they go. They have a couple of places in there. A referee didn't see anything. Said it went backward. Quick ball. They have runners out wide. Trying to punch a hole there. Don't face out wide. Referee telling Atlanta to stay away from that one. Jacob Field looking for another little dart there. It doesn't come.
Stop. Two things. One, not rolling, you're held. Restart with the scrum, okay, guys?
Scrum here to Kansas City. Nice attacking position here, Mike.
Unplayable. You're close.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I love what I've seen.
You're close.
Out of Kansas City's halfback so far. He's done such a great job throughout this game. And for Atlanta, too. I really like the play from both nines on both sides. They've done so well throughout the game. Their service has been good. Their injection of pace has been good. Decision-making has been good. That one there, maybe not the right decision to call your own number in so many white jerseys. But the energy that they bring to their sides, the way that they've been leading their attack around the field, both on both sides of the ball, I should say, on attack and defense, they've been outstanding all game long.
All across, looking to go wide. Do they have the runners will switch back in? Are they setting this up for something in a minute? Player goes to ground. And old white players again trying to rip that ball away, but can't quite get that one. Ball spills. Unfortunate. It's in old white hands. Spills in behind them. We'll come back. Take a scrum here, and then all whites this time.
Everybody has a chance here, John, to catch their breath. We're into the 70th minute mark. You see there's some tired bodies. There have been some big collisions. The ball's been spun around this field, left, right, and center. They've been playing into the wide channels quite a bit. And keep in mind, the winner has to play in about 24 hours' time for the national championship game tomorrow. So you talk about how important recovery is. You almost want to start your recovery just about now. 17 minutes left to go in this game.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, you're looking at the scoreboard going, time can't move fast enough, regardless of which side you're on. Obviously, you want to be on the winning end of it, but you're looking forward to tomorrow's game.
Downfield they go. Long launch goes in behind on this Blaze Rugby facility grass. Down on the left-hand side, there's a number of defenders there, and that pass is not going to help. Line out here for Old White.
And you can see the frustration, putting his hand up, saying that wasn't the right throw, and that's just unlucky. I mean, the intent's there. Looks like it maybe just slips through his hands a little bit. You'd imagine in a warm day like this, in and around that 70th minute mark as we approach the last quarter of play, that ball's got to be a bit greasy. So you're running at full speed, trying to sling that ball into the outside channel. That's just really unlucky. Good intent, just the execution let them down, unfortunately, for Kansas City. And so Atlanta will get possession.
Comes up, Heaton takes it. Replacement scrum half moves it. Deacon into contact. We'll switch a direction here.
No,
Not quite sure quite what to do with that. Is Shea O'Hanlon.
Scrum advantage, White. Scrum advantage. Stay.
Ball coming across again. Old White. Do they have room on this side? The little chip doesn't work. Game up in the hands of Kansas City, but there's no advantage. Going back to a scrum as a knock on by Kansas City. Old White will have the opportunity here. Right now on the other field, the latest we have is 10-0 North Bay over Belmont Shore. And the other D2 semifinal matchup.
14.
And so, John, what that tells you is that all four of these teams are really having to work for it in this semifinal game. Atlanta All White up by a bit here, but certainly not comfortable by any means, as we get a great shot of our screen of the action just on the other field adjacent to this one. And so one of these teams from each of these games is going to move on to tomorrow's national championship final. And right now, by all accounts, it's looking like it's Old White, but don't count out Kansas City. They're not done yet.
And the kick it behind. Kansas City has the gather with a big collision right at the 5-meter line. Good work by Kansas City to keep this alive.
Use it, Red.
Got to get some runners in here. 67 minutes gone. Kick to come here. Going to keep that one in field. It swirls only about 20 meters out. But kick forward back into Kansas City hands. Penalty against
kicker.
Kansas City there for contact against the kicker.
Guys, hitting the kicker late.
So there's the kick from Kansas City. Goes a little bit infield. And then jumps into, I see what he's called there. All right. So he calls obstruction of the kicker. Don't know that I love the call, but you know what? It is what it is. Clearly the defender is trying to obstruct the chase from that little kick off his foot. And so it's not necessarily a wrong call. It's, textbook wise, it is the right call, and it sets up Atlanta for this kick.
That means men's D2 final tomorrow, noon Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. Mike and I will bring you that action as well. Going for posts. First time of the game is Atlanta Old White. Take some time off the clock. As you said, recovery, Mike. These times, just a couple extra minutes, everything counts. As they hang that one up in the air. System referees are happy with it. It's going to be Wanjia Imasi putting that one over.
And that's a deflated-looking Kansas City side, unfortunately, as they look at a scoreboard that is not falling too much in their favor right now. But 12 minutes is still a lot of time. They've got to get some energy. This is where, as a leader in this group and one of the captains in this team, step up, get some energy into this side, because this game is not over yet. One quick score, even 3 points, and you are right back in this.
Contestable ball there. Was it knocked forward by Old White, or a referee happy letting the players run? Good work there. Cameron Gillespie in the game. Takes it inside the 22, so they have options either way. Look at the runners out wide. Falls down into this pod. Oh, another little mishandle there. Ball rolls in a touch. We're going to go all the way back for a player offsides. So opportunity here does not go away for Kansas City.
Never onside.
We're coming back for the advantage. But Kansas City, again, they love slinging the ball into those outside channels. As we get a look here at our teams that will be returning to full strength, so 15 on 15 with 10 minutes to play. And Kansas City looking to set something up here. Yeah, looking to set something up here. They're going to quick tap. They had 3 points on offer, but they're going to go with a set piece play here off the penalty.
Deacon trying to rip that one away. Cannot come up with it, so they're going to keep it moving. Little tip pass here. Kansas City all fight at the moment. Player gets himself to the ground. Referee's happy with that one. Old White need to be careful of any penalties here. Long pass again. They know they need that width. Was that knocked forward in the other player's hands? It was indeed. Come back's going to be a knock on here. Scrum for the Atlanta Old White team. Just a miscue.
Forward pass, yeah.
You can see what they're trying to do. They're really trying to just get into those outside channels, but Atlanta's doing a great job of just bringing their outside defense into those passing lanes. And so when the ball carrier looks up, they're seeing a lot of white jerseys. And so what they're being forced to do is throw over the top of it. And those are really risky passes. They're in the air for a long time. The defense has a chance to recover. There's a chance it goes forward. Anything can happen, but right now, Kansas City, they've got to throw the kitchen sink at this, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're throwing these big looping passes over the top, hoping to get one of those big line breaks on the outside. They need to get their wings involved more. Their wings have done phenomenal work with ball in hand, but those over-the-top passes might not be the best way to do it right now.
We are under the 10-minute mark. Old White, ball at Deacon's feet, driving it forward. Are they looking for the penalty? Don't get it. Play of the territory, make Kansas City run from deep in their own end. Look at that. Is that a 50-22 to boot? Whose ball is this going to be? A referee, assistant referee on the spot. It's ball here to Old White.
That is an absolutely phenomenal kick for Atlanta. Look at this. Sets his hips, drives this ball to the corner. Plenty of distance on it. Gets a near perfect bounce. You can't ask for better than this to bounce off the grass. That is a fantastic kick. I don't even know that he was aiming for a 50-22. I think he was just looking for some territory, but the bounce of that ball bounces in favor of Atlanta, and that seems to have been the trend all day long. Atlanta seems to have had their fair share of the good bounce of the ball versus Kansas City this afternoon.
You know what he's going to say later this evening, perfectly planned, as they go wide again, Kansas City. Speedster there. Doyon takes him in, but it goes in a touch. Looking for those kicks again from Kansas City. They've been trying to isolate that wing. Good fortune when they did get the try out there. At that time, not so much.
And rightly so. I mean, they definitely have an advantage out there. They've got athleticism, they've got speed, they've got versatility, but Atlanta's doing a great job of scrambling into those outside channels, dragging ball carriers out of bounds, forcing them to throw offloads just randomly back in field. And that time, we just walk along that tightrope on that sideline, and it's going to turn over to Atlanta.
Knock on by Red.
Knocked on by Kansas City, so ball here with an advantage. Deacon takes on one, sits him down to keep this one alive. Here come Atlanta Old White. Once again, Mingo kicks that one ahead. This race is on here. It's going to wind up in the hands of this Old White team. Great work by Bagby to get that one up. Got it to Antirius Branch, but he couldn't make anything happen. Now they're at the line. Now they're over the line. That one is going to seal this for Atlanta Old White. An absolutely game and tenacious Kansas City team has put up a fight, but this try should put it out of their hands, Mike.
I love this play call from Atlanta. The Kansas City defense was so flat. They gave you so much space in the backfield. You just dribble that ball in behind them. Excellent defensive scramble from Kansas City. Look at all the players on scene.
Look at that fight.
But unfortunately, just a little bit too much power around the fringe. They lose that body height battle. That was something that the Atlanta All White assistant coach said, was we need to get lower in collisions and in contact situations, and that's exactly where you want to get low, is right in that specific environment there. They get nice and low. They get underneath the tacklers, and a try for Atlanta.
I'm with you there. That, again, the Kansas City players getting back on that one was pretty impressive to stop the initial try. Game eventually, but the kick's going to come here from Timothy Mwangi-Amase, who will find it on a very tough angle. A lead extended here for Atlanta Old White.
4 minutes. 4 minutes, guys. Which way you going?
I'm going to be here.
Okay. As long as they're behind you.
When it's over, I can look and see where you're at anyway, but I'm going to be here until I see you.
Intake.
Ball a little messy there. Comes back. Penalty. Kansas City ball. Under 5 minutes to go here. 41-19. They're going to keep at it here. This player has been immense. Field.
Tackle! Tackle!
Player got his knee to the ground, and Lynn's going to have to let go. They eventually do. Does the space open up? It does, but again, just too ambitious with that pass. Trying to put some points on the board, so we'll come back, a line out here, all thrown in a touch. Another option for the scrum here, an Old White ball.
That was a nice play by Kansas City in that far channel. You saw that, a great read. The Atlanta defense blitzed up. They went in behind them. They threw the ball to the outside channel, but just a little bit too far in front to the receiver. And again, a turnover to Atlanta, who will be now comfortably cruising through these next few minutes and have punched their ticket all but officially to tomorrow's championship game.
Ball. That's once.
Referee telling this team to use it there, so Mingo hangs one up in the air. Kansas City comes down with it. Nice break around the side here, a little chip forward. Chase is on. Touchdown there by Old White will be their goal line dropout.
And again, Kansas City just trying to throw the kitchen sink at them at this point. Atlanta in no rush to get this ball back into play. They're just going to take their time, let their lungs and their legs recover, try to sail this one downfield. But again, if we've seen nothing else this weekend, John, it's that we've seen every player from every team fight until the very end. They put up everything they have. They are not willing to give a single blade of grass, regardless of the scoreline. They're playing straight through to the finish. And again, that's why I love this tournament. That's why I love this weekend. This is the heart and soul of American rugby. And these players put it on full display, and it's amazing to watch.
Ball across again, hits the ground. Kansas City at this point just looking for something magical to happen. Frustration, of course, but a great season they've had and a breakaway off of that one. And here comes a deserved try for Mwanja Mase, been an important player for Atlanta Old White. He's going to touch down another 5 as we're under 2 minutes to go. And this scoreline, Mike, is not going to reflect this game to me.
It absolutely does not. Kansas City can walk off this field feeling very proud of what they've done here. A few big breaks for Atlanta. They've shown their class as a team and certainly deserve this victory. But by all accounts, Kansas City has thrown everything they've had into this game. It just wasn't enough on the day against this Atlanta side.
Following up his own kick here. Kick is good, and the referee's going to whistle us for the end of that one. So moving on to the championship matchup is going to be Old White from Atlanta, 48-19 winners over at Kansas City. Mike, final thoughts? Mike, final thoughts?
What a game that was. I absolutely love it. Congratulations to Atlanta, but congratulations to Kansas City. They played their hearts out. What a game. I don't know about you, John, but I cannot wait for tomorrow's championship. It should be a real good one.
Right now, North Bay leads 15-0 over Belmont Shore. So that one will be played out. We will see who winds up winning 48-19. Get a rest there for Old White. And as we've been saying, just so much credit here. We're going to go down to Lance Kavanaugh.
We are down on the field. Atlanta Old White taking care of business, 48-19. Coach Balsas took care of business. The gentlemen seemed even more poised in the second half. Tell me about that speech, and also tell me about heading to a national championship game.
Well, this is actually a great feeling for all the supporters, especially the old boys that we have, the players, the 28-man roster that we brought in this weekend, and I think it feels great. Credit also to KC. I think that we studied them very, very well. Today we could go either way, KC or All White. Today we were lucky. I think that we did our homework and them, and that was a fantastic match. Looking forward to play the final once more again.
All righty, man. Listen, Coach, congratulations.
Cheers, man.
Good luck in the finals. Matthew, brother, how you doing? Congratulations on the big win. The gentlemen fought and continued to fight. One thing the gentleman kept saying, the 0-0 approach, flow, get back to settle into your form. What do you think about this win and heading into a national championship game?
It was great. First thing, just want to thank God for this opportunity for the boys. Thank the coaches as well. They prepped us well for this. But yeah, the mindset is keeping it 0-0 every time, so that way we stay hungry. Don't let the foot off the gas.
Hey, headed for your second one. Good luck. Congratulations on the win. Good luck tomorrow for the championship. Atlanta All White handling the business and on the doorstep to a double. We're going to kick it back up to you all in the booth.
Thank you, Lance. Always a pleasure to work with you here as we take a look at this initial kick. We're going to roll you out here on some of these tries. It's going to be a big game tomorrow. We see just the speed and power here of this Old White team. That is going to be it for this one here at the Chicago Blaze facility, USA Rugby's Club National Championships weekend. All the silverware will be handed out tomorrow. Everything brought to you by Next Level Rugby on the USA Club Rugby YouTube page. Make sure you tune in all day. Mike and I will be bringing you the D2 Championship. There's also a D3, D2, D1 on offer. A great day of rugby. We hope you will join us then. For Mike Petrie, I am John Broker. Everybody at Next Level Rugby wishes you a great evening.